Alright, this is my first attempt at a video for this year. This is Module 1, Lesson 2, Homework Help. And there's a homework that needs to be done. I'm going to do some of the problems that were not mandatory, hoping to help you with the problems that are mandatory. So there is some movement with the decimal, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But here we go. They want the kids to start visualizing and thinking abstractly about how to multiply times 10 and divide by 10. So one of the things I tell the students, and you should remember, is that when we multiply, we go to the left. So this 1 here starts off right here in the 10,000ths place. Because we're multiplying by 10, it's only going to move over one space. So my new number is going to be 1, 4, 5, 6, 0. That's 1 is right here. 4, 5, 6, 0. And because there is another space here, I'm going to have to put another 0 here. So I basically added this 0 to the end of the other numbers. So if you pay attention, you'll see a pattern here happening. There's 2 zeros here. So I'm going to copy the numbers down again. And I'm going to add 2 zeros to the end. Copy the numbers down again because they are the same numbers. And this time I have 3 zeros. Alright, so what happens when we multiply with a decimal? For instance, let's say we have this, 14 and 5600ths times 10. Well, what happens here is almost the same thing. We do add a 0, but we don't put that decimal in. We just do the 5, 6, and then put that 0 there. Okay? But now we know that we have 2 places that have decimals, and so we need to put 2 spaces and then our decimal. So our answer is $145 and 6/10. So I'll show it to you again with another times 100. So again, we're going to add the 2 zeros. And let me get a different color so you can see that I added those 2 zeros. Okay, and then I have 2 places here. So that means my decimal needs to have 2 behind it. So my answer now is 1,456. If you see the pattern, then you know that the answer to this next one is already on the screen. Again, we copy down the numbers. Forget about the decimal right now. We put the extra 3 zeros. And again, we have 2 decimal places. So our answer is 14,560. Our original number there, huh? Okay, so that's for multiplying. How did I get those last, or how do I know where to put the decimal? Well, it's right there. And if you want to see it on here, I'm going to show it on the place value chart. Starts out here, and I will show you the thousands, because that's the one that people probably have the most difficulty with. So this is going to move 3 spaces over, and it's going to become 10,000ths. And this one's going to become a 4 thousandths, and this one's going to be 5 thousandths, or hundredths, and this one's going to be 6 tenths. Then I have to add another 0 to the end there. Okay. All right. So there we have it. To multiply, we move over to the left. We multiply times 10 times 10 times 10. Each time we move over to the left again. Oops, sorry about that. So basically, it's 1 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000, times 10 is 10 thousandths. So we move it 3 over for the thousandths, because there's 3 zeros here. All right, so let's get to some division. This one stymies a lot of you. So let's look at it. Again, we can go ahead and look at our place value chart. The 5 starts here. We're going to divide, and this time we're going to move it this way, and if it's division by 10, we move it 1 space over. So that means my 6 goes in front of it, and my 1 goes in front of it. So my answer is 1 and 65 hundredths. Another easy way to think about it is that this decimal place is moving over here 1 space. Its decimal is moving over here 1 space to be over here. Why 1 space? Because there's 1 0. Okay, so knowing that, we can also decide that, or see that this goes over 2 spaces. So our answer is going to be the same digits, 1, 6, and 5, but now I'm going to put my decimal right here in front. Okay, and if you need to see it on the place value chart, I will show it to you. Again, the 5 is here. This time when we divide by 100, we are moving over 3 spaces. So the 5's here, the 6 here, and the 1 here, and here's my decimal. Oh, it's not working. There it goes. All right, sometimes we put a 0 in front just to make sure you can see that decimal. All right, so on this next problem, I changed it a little bit. It is 165 instead of 16 and 5/10. So this time it is moving. There is no decimal, but there technically it would be right here next to the 1s, after the 1s. So again, looking at the place value chart, it starts off here and it moves over 3 spaces. I'll move that down in a second. Oops. So it's going to move into the thousandths place. So the 5 is going to be in thousandths place. 6 is in the hundredths. The 1 is in the tenths place. And again, we can see that this decimal is right here, and we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3. And that's our answer. I feel like this one is a little more difficult, so I will do a little more problems. Just give me a second. I'm going to look for some problems that will coincide with what we're doing. I might even give you an answer to one of the problems. All right, so I'm going to actually do G for you from number 1. Nope, not G. Let's do H. And it's 3,000, 45, and 4/10 times 100. Or excuse me, divided by 100. Okay, so our decimal is going to be moving 2 spaces because of the 2 zeros. 2 spaces to the left. I know it's opposite of what we said about the place value chart. But that's what happens because the numbers are moving to the right, the decimal moves to the left. All right, so to show you again, I will copy down the problem again. All right, so now our decimal is right here. We're dividing by 100, excuse me. So this 4 is going to go 2 spaces over. So first it's going to the hundredths, and then it's going to go to the thousandths. So we're going to have the 4 in the thousandths place, the 5 in the hundredths place, the 4 in the tenths place, and as you can see, after the tenths place comes a decimal. Then we have a 0 and a 3. So our answer is 30 and 454 thousandths. So that's for H. Hopefully this is helpful. I am going to give you a bonus word. If you give me this bonus word tomorrow, when I walk around looking for bonuses, I will give you a bonus. Please make sure to write it on your homework. Write it at the top next to your name on the first page. And when I walk around for checking, make sure you call me over and point to it. Don't say it out loud. Point to it so I can look at it and give you that bonus. All right, the bonus word is potato. The bonus word is potato. All right. Hopefully that's helpful, and hopefully this works.